Hey guys, Jim here. What I'm going to do here is a quick video response to my buddy Smokeeater908, who did a great video about his favorite flippers, and we've started to see a couple of other video responses coming in too. And you guys know I love the guy. I love watching his videos, and I love doing impressions of him because it's fun. Hey y'all, this is Smokeeater908 here. See, that's pretty good. See, that's a lot better than the other impressions I've been doing recently. I think I pretty much nailed that one. I kid. Love the guy. Super awesome dude. And he got a kick out of it the last time I tried to do it. Smokeeater908 here. Yeah, I think I nailed that one. Anyway, he did a great video talking about his favorite flippers. And I got to tell you, this was a hard video for me to set up because it's really hard to say favorite about anything when you have a fairly decent sized collection. And then it's hard to really narrow down why it's your favorite. And I really tried basing my selections here purely on nothing but the flipping action. You know, it's hard not to pull out some other knives, you know, because I love them so much. There's so many things about the knife. You know, like my Una, for example. The Una is pretty much the all-around universally perfect knife for me, but it doesn't compare in flipping performance to the knives that are sitting out here. So I picked these solely based on its performance and action in flipping. I'm not saying these are my favorite knives in my entire collection. I think that a lot of these would be in there, but I think there would be some alterations and, you know, take this one out, put that one in, and this and that. But based purely on flipping action, these are the ones that I came down with. And I think it was pretty easy when I really just based it off of that. Now, the other thing that makes it tricky is I have a couple of knives inbound, so I may end up having to revise this video in the future. You guys know my Grail is going to be on the way. I get to meet Joel Perella next week in person and pick up his personal Ty Perella bangle that, you know, I've wanted since 2009. It's like a dream come true, and he had one sitting there mint. And my Hoback Quayback, this has just been such a crazy long delay, but that is on the way. And it looks like a good friend came through for me and was able to put his feelers out and look for an R.J. Martin Q36 for me. He contacted a friend of his that's also a prolific collector, and apparently he is willing to part with that knife. And if everything, you know, works out and we come to terms, I will finally own an R.J. Martin. And at that point, that would probably end up having to take the top slot. At least if it performs with the same amazing action as the one that I did in the video not too long ago, the one that I had borrowed from Bob. So for right now, this is what we're going to go with. So as you see, I've got a couple pairings here. When I get something I really, really love, I kind of want to, whoops, it flips better if you don't have your finger in the way. I kind of want to have more than one. So these are my twin bodegas. You guys know from the videos that I've done on my red bodega, the bodega is damn near the perfect knife. I mean, you never see one that's off-center. The tolerances built into this knife are utterly ridiculous. Perfection all the way through. A great combination of materials. Nice custom touches, even though it is a mid-tech. You've got some great custom touches with some nice handwork. But based solely on the flipping action, these are still some of the most responsive flippers made. They may not be the absolute smoothest, and they may not be the absolute fastest, but you've got a nice solid detent that performs flawlessly. You have a flipper on here that doesn't hurt your finger, and there are very few that I've had the chance to play with that if you're playing with it over and over and over and over and over and over again, that don't end up hurting the pad of your finger. I can sit here and flip my bodega all day long, and however I want to flip it, I can rock on it, which is still my preferred way, or you can push down on it. And I'm really starting to categorize those two actions as almost different knives. Because I am such a fan of just being able to slide my finger back and get it open. Same thing against gravity, works phenomenally well. Upside down, phenomenal. I'm not going to do that often because I can't judge my depth of field here looking through my viewfinder, and I really don't want to scratch up a nice knife with the tip of another. Another ones that I have to go with, my two Curtis F3s, my 3.5 inch and my 4 inch. You just don't get more solid, secure, and amazing than an F3. And again, you could do the push down. That makes it more difficult on the Curtis. The Curtis, you really want to be rocking it back. And it's because of his detent. The detent on these is fantastic. I know I'm not going to be able to get in there to show that. Not quite enough light. But he has a great detent. So you can sit there and hold it up against that detent. And when it breaks, when it releases, it's like magic. And somebody actually asked me today on Instagram. I had posted a picture that I had taken a few weeks ago, just of a couple of titanium frame locks, and one of my hinderers was in there. And he's like, "Oh, do you still have that XM24?" I'm like, "No. Once I got both sizes of the F3, I no longer had a need for my XM24 and my XM18. For me, these are much, much, much better knives. I feel better overall quality and better overall value." Some of you may recognize this one from the video that I did on it. This is my one-off that now enough people have requested, after I had the great idea of Dave making a carbon fiber F3. Now there will be more floating around, but in case anybody ever forgets, this was number one. And again, with that amazing detent. Dave he's a master. He knows what the hell he's doing. Does a fantastic job. On this particular knife, I had some very specific requests, and he did such a great job. Mirror polished all the way around the titanium frame and the titanium liner. Mirror polished backspacer. He ended up making up special for me because I started talking about wanting to have a lanyard. He created this. This was the very first one. We're going to start seeing, I think all the F3s are going to have this as an option in the future. He mirror polished that for me. And let's see what else. The mirror polish pivot, mirror polish pocket clip, mirror polish pivot on that side. Just a phenomenal job all the way around. And I love the action on this knife. It feels fantastic. Then we get to, let's skip down here, because this is still a favorite of mine, something that I can't get. Oh, hey, cool, I just got a text from Terra Fanatic. Hey, buddy. Hey, you just made a guest appearance in my video. I still can't get away from this little guy, even though I typically don't carry such small knives. This thing is incredible. Chris Martin, Phantom Steelworks, does incredible work. Just what a lustful knife this is. And the flipping action is great. Now, his is one of the kind that you do want to plunge down on. I mean, that thing is lightning fast. Great detent. See if I can get that to... Oh my God, did you hear that? Let's do that again. Whips out with a fury. Now look how far it is before the detent grabs it. Holy crap. Just does exceptional work. If you guys haven't had Chris make something for you yet, you really, really, really need to. Oh. And you're going to notice an obvious omission here. And two knives, another pairing of mine that I would have added, my two Will Moon Mark 6s. They're still among the greatest flippers I've ever owned. The only reason they're not here is because I sent them down to Will. I've been using the living hell out of them. He's reprofiling the blades for them and regrinding them, you know, just kind of sharpening them up and everything for me. So they should be back here in the next couple of days. Okay, next, something that you wouldn't have expected because it's not a custom. Well, it is custom when you really think about it. This was the one that Kevin at Bauer Blade Works made for me. It's a Boker Quaken. You know, it's a $90 some odd knife, $94 knife that he just went to town on. Did some amazing stuff. The purple G10 liners, silver lightning strike carbon fiber, crazy finishing all the way around. And then he did the Alex Dietz flipper mod. And with that done, this thing just, it's like a rocket. It does have IKBS, so it's got that assistance there, keeping it nice and smooth. I found myself putting this knife in my pocket a lot since I got it. I mean, I'm taking out knives that are $1,000, $1,500 out of my pocket to put this little guy in there. I really love it. It's such a great feel in the hand. It's like a little needle that you're holding. Very slick, very cool. Pretty good detent. Not the greatest, but pretty good detent. And I still love the way, you know, like my Mark 6s, this, the Hoback Quayback. I love the look of a completely hidden blade sometimes. When you want to go into something that's a slimmer profile, this is a really great way to do that. So this one this will get you sore. This is not one you're going to flip continuously over and over and over. There are very sharp corners on there. I'm actually having Dietz make a dress model for me right now. He should be getting the knife in the next day, actually. He already ordered my Timascus. I'm going full Timascus on there. It's white Timascus that we're going to go blue. And he's going to do a lot of mirror polishing and a lot of other cool stuff. So I can't wait to show that to you guys. I should probably have that in a week or two. So this thing has been a buttload of fun. Then we get to just two that I truly, truly love. Everything about the knives. The Shirogorov Model 95s. This is the Model 95 Titanium. That's the Model 95 Hati. Great flipping action. Super fast. The detent on my Hati is actually better. You see how strong that was? My finger actually sometimes won't engage it. This is the bushing system. That's the bearing system. So that's a tiny bit smoother in some respects. But this thing is like a rocket. And another thing that helps is, you know, even though this is bushings, watch this. You barely touch it and it goes down. I can actually usually give it a little wiggle and it closes right up. Igor Shirogorov and his brother doing some amazing work. Another maker that I would tell you, if you don't own anything by them, you really should try. Yes, their books are closed. Yes, it's really, really, really hard to get a Shirogorov. And in some cases, you might pay as much as double what the table price is. But it is most certainly worth it. I paid a lot of money for this, a lot more than Shirogorov sells it for. I don't care. I had to wrangle it from Barry's hands because Barry loved it. And Barry, by the way, in case, you know, on the off chance that you're actually watching this, I know you don't watch my videos. My videos suck. You know, if you ever want it back, dude, I'm always willing to sell it back. And you know what? For you, because you're such a bro, I would sell it to you probably for $75 less or $100 less, just because I thought it was so cool that you did that for me. So anyway, that's my two Shiros. Truly love them. Extraordinary flipping action on those. And then last, most certainly not least, and still one of the absolute smoothest I've ever felt, thanks to Jason's very unique bearing system in there. And the geometry from the pivot to the flipper, the size of the flipper, the weight of the blade. This thing is just phenomenal. And it's another one that you can flip in two ways. You can't do it in two ways with this. You cannot push down on that flipper. I still rock back. You can't push down. See, I'm trying. You have to rock back on the Shirogorov. That's my preferred way to flip, always. I really would much rather do that. So on the Division, you can either rock back or you can push down, whichever way you're comfortable with doing it. It's a bigger knife, it's a bigger blade than everything else sitting here. Actually, you know what? I've never done this direct comparison. I think almost the same blade length from pivot to pivot. Yes, it's the same blade length as the Shirogorov, so just a hair over 4 inches. And I still love the ergonomics on this knife, the way that it fits in the hand. Fantastic. Jason, you guys know I'm a big fan of Jason, the work that he does. Just tremendous. And wait till you see what Jason and I have cooking up for this. I'm not letting the cat out of the bag. Every friggin' time that I tell people what I'm doing or we put work in progress pictures up, either myself or a maker, somebody ends up knocking it off. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut on that one. It's going to take a couple of months to get it done. But what I'm going to end up having at the end of the day will be the ultimate division. And with the amount of expense I have to put into it, complete retooling that has to go into making the knife for me, I'm really hoping that that one will stick as a one-off. So we'll see about that. Look at that. So anyway, that's my response to Robbie. Thank you for making such a great video, buddy. I hope to see a video response to this and kind of keep this chain going. What are your favorite flippers and why? And, you know, I would appreciate it if you stuck to the same rules that I did. It's based purely on the flipping action. It could be, you know, a $20 or not $20, a $50, $60 Kershaw. No spring assist. Okay. Got to be a manual. But based purely on the quality of the action, the quickness of that deployment, the feeling of that detent, what you think your favorite flippers are in your collection. You know, none of, well, you know, an R.J. Martin with this and that. If you don't have it, then obviously you can't comment on it. You have to, you know, actually have the knife in front of you. There are probably a world of other flippers that would defeat all of these if I own them, but I don't, so I can only go off of what I own. And, you know, the collection is continuing to expand. I've been very fortunate. I just got on Kirby Lambert's list. He and I are going back and forth on a very special project, and I'm going to be getting a flipper from him. So, I mean, who knows? That man taking top honors in a year when that one's done. Yeah, it's a year. I don't care. It's worth it. Are you kidding me? Oh, my goodness. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up a little bit longer than I expected it to be. You guys know I tend to ramble anyway. Thank you, everybody who's been subscribing to my channel. We're going to keep on going till we hit 5,000. We're going to do that awesome giveaway. I am going to probably have to alter it a little bit, though, because Kevin may or may not have something coming up in his life that would preclude him from being able to do any pimp jobs. So the prize may change, but I'll tell you it's going to be at least as good as what we were talking about. If he's able to do it, that's what we're going to do. If not, then we'll go in a different direction that'll be equally as fun. All right, guys, I'm out of here. If you have any questions or comments, shoot them on down below. Thanks.